So the mission of XAI and Grok is to understand the universe. We want to understand the nature of the universe so we can figure out what's going on, where are the aliens, what's the meaning of life, how does the universe end, how did it start.
Is this potentially the last year that humans will, think for themselves the way that they have had to throughout all of human history? I think that that's already shifted. I certainly don't think like I used to. Did I ever? I probably did. Don't ask my wife. Things are changing at speeds that we cannot wrap our brains around. I can't. I don't think anyone can. Truly. Because as soon as you look away from the AI space and then look back at it, everything's changed. I literally this morning was going through my mind. I use my mind, which is this app here. And I just save articles. I save things that are interesting. And I didn't have to scroll down far at all before I found articles from AI updates that just came out, like just recently, a few months ago. And they already feel so outdated. We've moved past those so fast. So Grok 3 was released last night. And people are saying crazy things like, I don't know about any of these, but listen to this. Grok 3 is here and it's AGI. Maybe it certainly could be. This isn't just another model release. This is the moment everything changes. Forget GPT, forget Claude, forget every AI you've used before. They're already obsolete. The upcoming Claude 4 and O3 models, full models, already behind. Maybe. Grok 3 isn't just better. It isn't just faster. It's something else entirely. This is what happens when you push scale to the limit. This is what happens when you stop being cautious and just go for it. The people still debating whether AGI is possible don't realize it's already here. And I think there's some validity to that, which we'll get into. The people waiting for OpenAI and Anthropic to drop something better don't realize they've already lost. The future belongs to those who see it first. The future is Grok 3. I mean, the thing that sets Grok 3 apart, if you don't know, is how insanely fast it was trained. Clap your hands. Why did I clap my hands? It just felt right. Sometimes it's important to just clap your hands. If you're trying to talk to somebody and they're not paying attention, they appreciate a good clap in their face. If you look at how fast Grok was trained, in fact, they have a graph for this. Let me pull it up here. You want to wait with me while we pull this up? Cool. Grok 3 training graph. Oh, that's a post. I don't know how to use X. Okay. Let's see if we can find this thing. Okay, it's this. This is what I was thinking. So you look at you can't quite tell, it's cut off, but okay, 3.5 came out in November 2022, I believe. Yeah, right there. And a year later, a little over a year, or was it a year? How do graphs work? We got GPT-4 and then 4.0 a little bit better. Look at when Grok period was started its training in 2023. That's Grok 2. That means that Grok 3 was trained somewhere in here. Like the speed at which Grok was trained and trained so efficiently and powerfully, like literally the computer chips it was trained on are so powerful, if I understand this correctly. It got built exceedingly fast. Anyways, kind of mind-blowing. Lex Friedman tried it. He said, I got to use Grok 3 extensively early. My mind is blown. If anyone knows Lex Friedman, I mean, I don't know him, but if you listen to him enough on his podcast, he doesn't seem to be impressed by much of anything. He's very stoic, very anticlimactic, very other words. And for him to say my mind is blown, I think he's a big fan of Elon, but still it's kind of, I don't know, that's saying something, I'd say. Well, it is saying something. It's literally using words to say something. So very impressive model. Congrats to Elon. Blah, blah, blah. So people are trying out Grok 3 and have nothing but good things to say. The benchmarks for it, the testing that these intelligent people put the AIs through to kind of gauge how smart is this thing, it's outperforming everything right now. I don't think that they put it up against OpenAI's O3 reasoning model. It'd be interesting to see how that works, because apparently Grok 3 has a button that you press that says learning that does something similar to what O3 it does, where it just takes its time, it thinks about it. It can take up to 30 minutes to process and gather its thoughts. So I'd be interested to see that. But either way, here's the thing that I'm most interested in. I don't understand the benchmarks that are used and don't really care. And I don't really care about how well it codes. I get that it's important, but for me, it doesn't have an impact on my life and most people's lives. I mean, not directly. The thing that I want to get into, the thing that's going to change and shift, I think, dramatically is when, and I think it's only a matter of time, this technology, the Grok 3 technology, the new GPT 4.5 that will be released probably soon, and then 5, which will be released, I think, this year. Once that technology becomes more consumer friendly, like once it becomes the promise of what Apple Intelligence was supposed to be. Remember Apple Intelligence, that thing that Apple talked about having and don't? The idea behind Apple Intelligence was brilliant to me, which is the idea of having that level of AI, sophistication, intelligence on your phone that you can talk to and understands everything about your life. We're getting close to that. We'll get into this in a minute. But let's look at Sam Altman. This is the thing. This is the crazy thing that stands out to me is the competition is just running off a cliff, which is maybe where we're heading. I want to talk about that a little bit too. What does this actually mean for human civilization? And I don't necessarily mean just existential, AIs are going to take over, they're going to kill us. I think there's something way more practical, at least right in front of us, that is already actually happening and going to continue to happen, that I don't see a way out of it. And I don't even know if it's a bad thing, but it's something that's for sure happening and going to continue to happen at a faster and faster pace, mainly fed by these AI companies that are in hot competition with each other. Hot. Look, the new administration, which I am a massive fan of. We've saved America. We the voters. But one of the things that's happening that I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this, is the incredible push towards AI. I get it from the standpoint of like, well, we want to have it before China does. But I also think that's another conversation. I don't know if that's even good. I mean, whatever. That's a different video. But the point is, I feel like, I don't know if this is true from the internal CEO, Sam Altman, Elon Musk level, but it does seem to be the case that whatever guardrails were put on these companies prior to Trump being elected are now off. Not only are the guardrails off, but I feel like Trump and his administration are doing everything possible to help these companies grow. And I think if we would have heard that early 2023, that this is where we're going to be in early 2025, is not only the guardrails being taken off of these companies, but being actively pushed toward like, no, go, go, go. What do you need? Money? We'll get you money. You need power to run these new AI training facilities? We'll get you all the power you need. Whatever you need, we'll give you. Because I remember just early 2023 when ChatGPT 3.5 came out and was available and accessible, and the world first learned about it. One of the things that everyone was talking about is like, just don't plug this into the internet. Could you imagine if they plugged this into the internet? That'd be the end of the world. And then that's immediately what happened. So if you went back to those early days, which was not long ago, and told them like, hey, early 2025, this is what's going to be happening, I mean, our minds would be blown. Anyways, so Sam Altman is pushing hard, now has some serious competition from Grok 3. Because Grok 3 is now performing better than OpenAI's current model, 4.0. Sam Altman said, trying ChatGPT 4.5 this is interesting. Like, what does this mean? Trying GPT 4.5 has been much more of a, quote, feel the AGI moment among high taste testers than I expected. You know, like, I assume there's propaganda being pushed out there. You want to make people feel like your next model is going to just blow their minds. But you also like run this line. There's this line of like, we got to be careful here, right? There's still some concerns with AI, are there not? That's the other weird thing is it seems to be that we're in this place of, oh no, we're not worried about AI anymore. AI is totally fine. It's going to be nothing but good for us. And I can easily be persuaded that way because I don't know. But at the same time, I think, yeah, but aren't there real concerns? Like, didn't even Elon Musk not long ago, like last year, on X, didn't he like just communicate? That's the word I'm looking for. Words are hard, but communicate to the world his legitimate concerns for AI growing at this speed and getting this intelligent. And yet I feel like we're just like, oh, well, let's just jump in. It doesn't matter. So insane to me. Anthropic CEO, Anthropic has created the Claude model of AI, which is up there. And, you know, there's like a top 3 now, I suppose. Top 3 AIs. There's OpenAI, AI companies that are really pushing the boundaries. I guess there's 4 with Google. Yeah. Anyways, Anthropic's way up there. If you don't know, you know that. This came out a little while ago, but this is an interview he did on CNBC. And he said, we've seen inside Anthropic over the last few months. Oh, what we've seen. Reading properly is so much better than not reading properly. What I've seen inside Anthropic over the last few months led me to believe that AI will surpass almost all humans at almost all tasks in 2 to 3 years. And this was, I don't know when, October 7th, 2023, a few months ago. So we're already, if you're looking at 2 years, we're already kind of at a year and a half, potentially. And these CEOs, you know, they do have to be careful with what they're saying publicly. Like they can't just throw caution completely to the wind. And most of them tend to be, from what it appears to me, tend to be pretty conservative in what they say. They don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. That's really bad for their company. So I don't feel like this is just propping his company up. I think this is legitimately what he thinks. I am more confident than I have ever been at any previous time. There have been 5 or 6 times in 10 years we thought we were hitting a wall and something slightly different was invented that let us get around it. The scaling of AI feels like a river. Every once in a while it runs into a stone, but it always finds a way to go around. Throughout the 10 years I've been working in this field, I've always said, I don't know for sure, which is true. I've seen him in interviews. I've watched him in interviews, and he's been more cautious, more conservative with what he says about AI and what it could accomplish. This seems like the direction it's heading in. We could be getting to human level systems. I think there's still uncertainty, but over the last 6 months, that uncertainty for me has decreased a great deal. So, okay, let's just chat about this. What does this actually mean? So again, I'm not into the benchmarks. That doesn't really matter a whole lot to me. The way it codes doesn't really matter. I understand it's important, whatever. What matters to me and what I think is going to be the ultimate shift in AI toward really, really changing human beings at a very baseline level is, like I said, going to be when AIs that are this intelligent, Grok 3, GPT 4.5 are unleashed on our devices, whatever they may look like in a year or 2 from now, probably still some sort of handheld device. When they're unleashed on our devices, the way that Apple Intelligence was supposed to be unleashed on our devices, when it can access everything on our phones, which means it's accessing everything that humans know, like in an individual level. If you want to know everything about me, you can find it in my phone. My deepest thoughts, because I journal with this thing. You can find all of my history, in a sense, through my photos and videos I've taken. You can find my interests through following me on social media, following what I look at on social media. You can listen to conversations I have with this all the time. It's always listening, right? Like you know everything about my appointments. my calendar, who I've called, who I talk to, who I text, how I communicate. You can really know a lot about a person if you had access to their devices. And so once AI like Grok, GPT 4.5 has access to our devices, has access to everything on our computers, which we're this close to, and in some ways already have to some extent, with OpenAI's, what the heck they call the thing, the Operator. Like Operator can already control our screens in the web browser. But once all of the data on our phones is accessible to a local AI on our phone, which I guess just means more technology, right? I guess that's the thing. Anyways, whatever it needs to happen, when that happens, that I think will be the turning point, legitimate turning point, going from what humans have always been, which is intelligent thinkers, the most intelligent species on Earth, if you will, to not the most intelligent. And even if we put aside all of the terminology of like AGI and ASI and all of these terms that mean like, oh, once it goes to this level, once it's smarter than people, in so many ways, it's already, this thing is already so much smarter than me. I use this already so many times a day to answer questions, to talk through problems, especially with like my business, or just ideas that I'm internalizing. And the ideas it gives me are always so much better. And you could say, oh, it's not really smarter. It's not really better. I don't even think people are saying that anymore. But what is going to happen, I see, is that we're going to give over our brains to AI. We're already so cyborgish. We're already basically cyborgs. Like if I don't have my phone with me, I can't drive to the nearest gas station. If I don't have my phone with me, I don't know what I even need to do today. I don't know. I may have a meeting today. I may need to talk to somebody. I don't know. I need my phone to even know if I'm having a call with somebody. And if I am, I need my phone to actually make that happen. I can't really even think. I couldn't get my business to where it is today without this technology, without the way that it thinks. And I think very quickly, as our devices get so much smarter and AI is implemented into them and can see everything on our phones, we're just going to continue to delegate, if you will, more and more of what used to require our thought process to our phones. And we're just going to get dumber. Like it's just going to happen. Look at how insanely persuasive artificial intelligence is in social media already, and how much of an influence it has on our lives. Incredibly influential. Social media impacts us in ways that people never saw coming. And it has negative side, a major negative side. It also has positive sides, but it's extremely powerful. Those who wield that tool, it's like the ring of power. It's insanely powerful. And that is nothing compared to what the AI systems are today, especially when, again, they have full reign of accessing every part of our lives through our devices that we've already given over all of our lives to. It's just that it's limited in what it can do for us, right? Like our phones still require us to look at our calendar and say, oh, I've got these calls today. And it still requires us to say, have a conversation with it if you want to process a problem that you're facing, through maybe ChatGPT advanced voice mode. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I think so. It still requires our brains to some extent, but that's what's going to change, is that the devices will do more and more for us, where you don't have to think about a problem. You can just tell it, here's the problem I'm facing. Will you figure it out? And will you just do it? And it will just do it. Anyways, I think that's what we're going to see happen. And I think that's the real risk at first, outside of obviously the realization that it's AI is going to actually do our jobs, a lot of our jobs, better than we can do them, faster, cheaper, better. And that's already here in many cases, and it's just going to get so much better. So I think those are the two biggest hesitations I have. The two things that give me the most uneasy feelings is that my work is going away. Most people's jobs, they're going away. How could you think? I'd love to hear the argument that no, they're not. We're still going to need humans. What? How? Why? Anyways, and I mean like soon, probably soon. I mean, Sam Altman, I don't have the link up, but Sam Altman recently in an interview said that their internal model that hasn't been released on the world yet, I'm assuming 4.5 or 5, is they've benchmarked it, rated it at like the 56th best coder in the world. And he thinks that by the end of the year, it will be the best coder in the world. So, but people are still going to hire people, like a lot of people, maybe a few, but geez, you're not going to need as many. You already don't need as many. There's already mass layoffs happening in the tech sphere and in the creative sphere that I work in. It's going away, man. Anyways, but that's one part of it. The other side of it is just the reality, the knowledge that I know that as people, we are like water in a stream, in a river. We will find the easiest way down. And if we have a device that's extremely smart, a device that can do so much of the things that requires our processing power, our brains to do right now, and it just will do it and you don't have to anymore. Maybe you won't, give your life over to your device, but you already have. If you're, the vast majority of people living on planet Earth today, you've already given over a lot of your processing power, your ability to think and remember things over to your phone. Wait until your phone is so smart, so much smarter than you, can do things for you, not just think for you, but actually do things. You just ask it to do something and it does it. Anyways, that's where I'm at. But it seems like that's the thing that Grok 3 and the new updates that are coming to ChatGPT make me think is that the competition is firing up and it's just going to, people have already talked about this exponential curve we're on. I think this next year is already like pretty insane looking at the curves of these graphs that show the speed at which these things are improving. Hey, help me grow this channel. Please like the video, comment on it, get it out there in the world. I'm trying to grow this channel. This channel is my attempt at trying to save my work because my job's going away. I'm still doing it. I'm a video editor, but it's how much longer am I going to do that? Let's be realistic. So I'm trying to do something that AI can't take from me, at least right now, which is just being me talking to you on this camera. Maybe that'll go away too. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Please help me grow this channel.